Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for taking part today in the opening part of the Move Week Gym and the Move Week celebration that we have around the world. This is an activity that will be held with the support with many countries and many trainers around the world. And we're really thankful for all your participation and for your time. And we encourage you to take part of the live events and the sessions that we will have until the end of this week. And please enjoy and take your time to find your move. We have Jeff from the Gymnastics Association in Hong Kong, China, that will be delivering a Tai Chi session today with us. And please enjoy.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jeff Chui. I have practiced Tai Chi for nearly 20 years, and I love Tai Chi, obviously. So I'm very honored to have this opportunity to introduce Tai Chi to you all today. Now, first of all, I'd like to give you an introduction on what is Tai Chi. Tai Chi is actually an ancient Chinese martial arts. And as many of these ancient Chinese martial arts, they are concentrating in training the bodies and as well as the mind. So we have to have mind-body coordination as well as speed as well. Well, you might ask, wow, speed isn't a strength in Tai Chi. I see a lot of people practicing Tai Chi in slow motions. But that is the reason of slow motion, is that in the Tai Chi basic training, we have to train our joints, we have to train our muscles, we have to train our ligaments, and we have to make sure every body movement, we can sense all these parts and in the right way, in the right direction. And in that way, we have to practice the basic training very slowly so that we can take the time to sense it, to sense your body, to sense your mind doing the training. This is why so practice slowly most of the time. But there are times that we would also go into a faster pace. And this is what I'm going to take you through today. We will first practice some Tai Chi movements in slow motion, as I mentioned. And then we'll increase the pace in the second part of the sessions. I hope you enjoy it. Okay, so first of all, let me tell you some of the principles of Tai Chi, one by one. It's not all of the principles. There's, at least a dozen of principles that one has to remember in the Tai Chi. But I'm just going through some more important ones, which we have time to cover today. Okay, the first principle is the body motions is actually generated by the waist and hip. What I mean is our waist and hip, actually, they are the engine. They form the engine of our body movements, in Tai Chi movements, to be precise. Okay, so what is it? Let me just demonstrate it, and then you guys can follow later on, and when I explain it. This is your waist, and this is your hip, down below, just below the waistline. Your entire hip bone, your hip is the part I'm mentioning. Okay, so the waist and hip. Okay, so I have to generate enough energy to move my hands by moving, rotating my waist and hip. This is the way to do it. Okay, and as I build enough momentum, and the important thing is you don't hinder the movement of your arms. That's why you have to release and relax your shoulder, your elbow, your wrist, even your palm, your fingers, so that they are not becoming a resistance to the movement of stringing of your arm through the power generated by the turn of the waist and hip. Okay, I hope you can all join me now and swing your arms left and right through the rotation of the waist and hip. And most importantly, your mind should focus on how to relax your shoulder joint, your elbow joint, your wrist joint, so that they swing out freely into the air through the rotation of the waist and hip. Let me show you sideways what I'm doing. As you can turn, the main thing is the turn of the waist and hip. I'll show you the other angle. Okay, the importance of this motion is that now this is probably the first time that you are training on turning of the waist and hip in order to swing your hands. Now I'm going to show you some wrong movements. Okay, this is just swinging your hands, your arms, without much of the turn of the hip and waist. The other wrong thing to do is that even though if you are rotating your hip and waist and be able to swing your arms, the elbow becomes too stiff. And you feel the resistance of your arm right away. You don't feel like you can really swing it using the energy generated by the waist and hip. Or you're locking your shoulder becoming too tense. Same thing will happen. It will hinder the freedom movement of the arms. Okay, so I hope you get a sense of what Tai Chi movements being generated, or movements generation by the waist and hip. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to take some steps around. It's called the Tai Chi step. This is second principle. The second principle of Tai Chi, not really the second, it's probably the third or fifth, doesn't really matter. It's not in sequence anyway. This is the second principle I'm telling you today, is that the step of Tai Chi step is about transferring of one's weight from one leg to another. What is it? What does that mean? That means when I take a step, now my body weight is primarily on my back foot. And then as I take a step forward, I'm not moving my foot, but rather now I'm moving my body weight towards the front. Okay, and now I'm successfully moved my weight from one foot to another. If I'm successful, I'll be able to lift up my back leg, move it to the front, and complete the second step. And by completing the second step, I need to move my body weight from the back leg to the front leg again. And there you go. You go step by step from this point on. And the importance is to how to transfer the weight on one leg, your body weight from one leg to another. And this transfer, as you can see initially, you have to put all your body weight on one foot. And then gradually transfer the weight from one foot to another until the other leg takes up the entire body weight. Okay, I'm going to tell you how to do it step by step, but first listen to me once before you, so you can watch carefully. I'm going to go sideways so you can see better. Okay, let's just say we would go this direction. And first of all, now that I haven't taken any step, I still need to transfer my body weight to one leg to another, or one foot to another before we can start. Okay, so I'm shifting my body weight to, let's just say, my right leg, and therefore, my right leg is supporting my whole body weight. My left foot is free to take out a small step. Okay, and to this point, my body weight is still supported by my back leg. Now, this is the back, this is the front leg. And I will let down my foot. At this point, my body weight is still on my back leg. The putting down on my foot is merely an ankle motion, the joint motion of the ankle, letting down the foot. Nothing has happened yet about body weight. Now something would have to happen. I'm going to transfer my body weight to the front. And as I said, principle one, all the movements are based upon waist and hip. And here we go. It's not pushing from the back leg. It's not pulling from the front leg. It's about moving my waist and hip forward. And my two joints, the knee joints, left and right joints, are just cooperating by bending or stretching up. Therefore, I'm now half step away from completing my first step. Okay, so you will have to push forward your waist and hip until the transfer of the weight is completed. And now I can take a solid front forward step. And then here we go again. Weight pushing, moving of the waist and hip towards the front, completing the weight transfer, and then finish. Okay, I hope you can follow my actions, my movements together. Let's move in this direction together. Okay, first transfer the weight to one leg and spare the other leg so you can take out the other foot easily. Now, ankle motion only, no weight transfer yet. Let down your foot. Now, hip and joint, hip and waist. Moving forward, knee joints are just cooperating. One, the front joint being bended, the other being stretched out. Okay, I completed the weight transfer now. I'm going to take another step. Put down and then push forward. One more step. That's it. Okay? And you might ask, okay, that's fine. That's kind of fun, but what's different is it to the normal walking? Well, first of all, it's the slow motion that's taking toll effect on the training. Because of the slow motion, you maintain at a body weight on one foot most of the time, right? So that strengthens your legs alternatively from time to time. And in normal walking, you usually would not have to support your body weight by one leg for so long. Okay, so this can be you can test it out very quickly by walking really slowly. You find like walking in the moon. You find you might be a little bit shaky on the balance leg. Okay, that is the whole part of the reason why we have to do this slow motion, even in stepping. Okay, I hope you guys are following. Okay, now we are going into another portion. We will try to coordinate our hands movement with the steps. But before we can do so, let me introduce you some of one of the hands movements. The hand movements is like this. Okay. You fold down your hands to the front of your body. Okay, one hand, let's just say this hand, is in front. The other hand is right after the front hand, with the fingertip pointing at the same direction and touching the inner wrist of the front hand. And as you turn your palm, you turn them together so that the front palm is facing to the front and the back palm is sort of facing to your face, like this, like this. And then you will turn the hip and waist away from to the, so that the hands are separated. And at the same time, you have to increase a pressure on the front palm, like this. Let me try again. Front hand, back hand. Turn both palms so that the front palm is facing the front and the back hand palm is facing your face. Turn your hip and waist away, so separating the palms like this. Another view of that. Front palm, back palm. Turn both palms. This palm facing your face almost. By turning of the waist and hip, separate the palms. At the same time, increase pressure, pressing at the front with your front palm. Okay, we just tried one hand. Let's just try the other hand. We'll put the other hand to the front and then the back hand here. Same thing, turn both palms. Use hip motions, separate the hand, the palms, and press the front palm forward. How's that? Okay, two things to remember. When you press the front palm, do not straighten out all the joints along the arm, which means you don't go like this. This is a push, and this is a stretching out of all the joints. It will lock up all the joints. We will just do the press so on the palm, so that maintaining all the joints have some flexibility left in there. So don't stretch them out. Got that? So also important is to, if you don't separate the palms just by separating them, they are separated before because the hip is rotating. Okay, I hope you like it. Now we just have to make it a little bit more complex. Same thing here, but in order to do the left-right hand motion in continuous motion, we have to add one more intermediate steps so that the two can be connected. Let me show you how. Turn of the palms, separation of the palms, and then the front palm pressing forward, right? Now, with a little bit more turning of the hip, I drop the front palm to the hip level. And then with the turn of the hip, I let the back palm press forward. And then I'm going to lift the hand underneath to the front. First of all, turn the palm. And then turn both palms just like before. This is just like before, but now notice I'm on a different palms, back and back and front is different. Also turning of the hip, drop the front palm, and then use of the turn of the hip, press out the backhand palm. Okay, turn the wrist like this, raise the other palm as the back palm, turn both palms, separation of the palms by turning of the waist, more turn of the hip, drop the front palm, turn of the hip, do the pressing of the other palm. As you can see, by doing this, we can do it left and right continuously. Okay, I just want to check out from the screen if anybody has any questions or comments about the motions we have just did. Okay, so far so good. I haven't seen any big problems with it. Okay, now I hope you will join me in making sure you to do this a few times, just to make sure you can master this motion, hand motion. Okay, make sure one palm is in front of the other palm. Turn both palms. Separation of the palm through waist. Turn, and then turn more hip. Drop the front palm. Rotation. Press of the other palm. Position your front palm properly. Join the palms. Turn palms. Separation of palms. Drop of the front palm. Rotation and press. Position the palm. Front and back palm. Turn both palms. Separation of palms. Drop front palm. Rotation and press. Position. Join. Turn. Separate. Drop. And press. Position. Join. Turn. Separation. Drop. Turn and press. Okay. That's probably enough for a start. Let's just try to see if we can marry the steps, the forward step we just taught, tell you, and the hand movements together. Okay, here we go. Okay, and whichever hand palm is in the front, the same side foot takes a step. Okay, what I mean is, okay, I let this palm to be the front palm, right? This is my front palm, and therefore this is my front foot. Okay, so my front foot takes off. Turn, separate, press, and as you press, move transfer of weight. So the transfer of weight and the move and the palm drop is synchronized. And turn of the waist and press. Okay? Let's just take one step at a time, as I said. So same side is at the front, palm and foot. Turn both palms, turn hip and separate. Okay, now drop your foot and then now transfer of weight at the same time, press down the front palm to the hip level. Finally, turn and press the other palm. So far, so good. Can we go to the second step? Okay, let's just say we go to the second step. Position your front palm. Okay, now take the step. Join, turn, waist, turn, separate. Okay, drop your foot, transfer of weight at the same time, pressing down the palm, front palm. Rotate hip and press. There you go. You just did 2 steps. Hand synchronized movements with the legs. Okay, so I hope you from this exercise get a little appreciation on what I meant by hand-leg synchronized body movements. Now let's move a little bit from hopefully we got into a little bit faster pace now. Okay, remember when we do the turning of the hip, we throw hands or arms in the air. Okay? And I said that's the result of the turn of the hip and generating the rotational force to swing up our hands and arms. We can do that with a stronger rotation, generating larger force. So the hands will be swinging faster with more speed, isn't it? Let's just try. With more force now, with more rotational force, actually the pace will speed up, isn't it? Let's just taste it a little. Okay. Okay. Now, into faster pace. First, we have to taste more of it, and then we will have to get into a bit more of the martial arts area. So I have to first introduce you to the Tai Chi punch hand form. What is a Tai Chi punch hand form? First, we have to make a punch, obviously. The Tai Chi punch is rolling, making a punch is rolling your fingers across the mid of your palm, rolling them into it, as if you're rolling a sheet of paper in a roll. And then place your thumb next to the index finger without sticking out the front joint of your thumb to anywhere. Like if you do it this way, that's sticking out too much. That will stick out to here. So we rest nice and easy on the index finger. So it's kind of, the reason why is when we make a punch, it's likely to hit something, right? And if the impact is here, we will never hurt our thumb. If you do it this way, chances are you break at least the thumbnail in the most likely scenario. Okay, so this is the way to roll a fist and form a fist in Tai Chi punch. Okay, and we have to do this slowly first, as before. When we throw a punch, we use what? Just like in the swinging of hands, of arms, we actually use this rotational force to string out our fist. And one thing is we maintain the joints free while it's being swung forward. And then at the end part of the swing, we're going to do the rolling of the fingers and the holding of the fist. So the entire process of throwing a punch isn't like grabbing a punch, grabbing your fist, and then punch out. Even if you turn with your hip, that isn't Tai Chi punch. The Tai Chi punch is like relaxing your shoulder, all the joints, and use the rotational force of the wrist or hip, turn out just like you're swinging your arms. And the last part of the turn, grab your fists together. Okay, so we're going to go slowly. All right, turn of the hip and forward a punch and grab the fist. Let go, drop back to the other arm and fist. Relax, drop back, rotate, hold the fist. You get the idea? So it's like a slow motion of swinging your arms, but you are now holding a fist. Okay, so you might think this is fine, but what's the point? The point is, I want you to remember, you will have to feel how the rotation synchronizing the flow out of your fist, and what happened during the flow out. What's the feeling? What's the positioning of all the joints in your arms? Is the shoulder hindering the movement? Is the elbow free? Is the wrist turning in the right place? Remember, you see, there's actually turning of the fist, because what we want is the fist to be like this. So when your wrist is here in the mid-air, actually you have to turn the wrist so to position the fist position properly. So in order to do that, you have to think about all the joints and muscles, how to coordinate this throwing of the punches. Okay, so let's try to throw punches a little bit faster. Okay, we're gonna pace it and increase the pace gradually. Okay, let's just do in my tempo. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to increase the pace. 1, 2, 3, 4. It also means the rotation of the waist and hip is more vigorous, with more energy. And then you hold your fist a little bit tighter, generating a punch. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Faster. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's the fast pace, gradually faster pace of throwing fists, of throwing punches. So there you have it. So I think I would say some of you might not be able to follow the entire sequence, because as you speed up, you find that you're out of rhythm. You find that you're out of time of holding the fist properly. You find that you're locking your shoulder. You find that your elbow is too stiff. You find that you're strengthening all your joints too much, extending. Hey, so all these things have to go into your mind while you're doing the motions. So we are not in Tai Chi. It's really important to make sure your mind is always on top. You're doing whatever you're doing. All right. So now we have the punches, basically formed from the slow motion of flowing of your arms. Now you have it. We are going to try the faster version of the steps and the hand movements. How's that? Okay, here we go. Now, in order to do the faster motion, let me remind that I haven't really quite mentioned. Now we're into more vigorous movements. We have to increase the stability more so before than the slow motion. In fact, the stability is required in the slow motion for sure. It's just that in this session, I just want to take you through a quick tour, and therefore I didn't bother, I didn't talk about a lot about stability in the slow motion. After all, even in a natural positions, most of the athletes like you be able to maintain balance anyway because the slow motion isn't going to generate too much drags and push, so to off balance yourself. But when it comes to this part, which also applies to the slow motion parts, we have to make sure we are rooted properly. What we mean by rooted is that we want to increase the stability by lowering our center of gravity, right? How to lower our center of gravity? Is it like this? We can lower our center of gravity like this. Okay, without purposely bending our knees. The way to do it is before we do rooting, we have to make sure our back is straight. And by doing the back is straight, do a little bit of stretching of the back neck. Another thinking is that you pretend there's a string hanging, a hook hanging down from the ceiling right above your head, and it's hooking on, or you tie your hair at the middle of your head to the hook, and then somebody pull up the hook, and your head is being pulled up a little bit. Okay? And then the next thing is you relax your kneecaps. What do you mean by relaxing of the kneecaps? Okay, here I am, stretching the back of my knee. That's not relaxing my kneecap, that's stretching of my kneecap. So I'm going to relax the back of my knees, and you feel a little bit bent in your knees now. And as you feel that bend, pretend you are trying to sit down just by a little bit. You can never sit on anything now, right? Because you're standing just by a little bit. But your feeling is as soon as you're relaxing your kneecaps, you immediately sit on the stool. And that's it. Now, not quite complete yet, because the mind has to play a role. You now have to think about your whole body weight is being implanted on your 2 feet. And by relaxing your body a little bit, let go of the muscle strength pulling back yourself, let loose of your shoulders, let your hip nice and easy dropping to the stool. Let your knees bend naturally because the hip is lowering itself. And then relax your foot so that the whole body weight can rest on the foot nice and easy. And all the time you're making sure your head is being pulled up by a string from the ceiling. And now there you have it. And because of the drop of the hip, your back line, your spine is more or less straightened. And this is how you do the rooting. Okay? And you have to maintain this rooting positions no matter what. Okay? Whether you're moving or not. Well, I'll tell you as we go progress. Okay, so you have the rooting now. So in this stepping, actually we have to do the rooting. let's just replay our routine, our steps with the routine a little bit. So now we do the routine, and we transfer the weight to one foot, so we can let the other foot out. Drop the foot. Okay, the routine is still happening with one leg supported by the back leg. Okay, and then move our hip forward until the weight transfer is complete. Okay, here it's another routine has to happen. Now we're doing single foot routine. Okay, at first was the back leg. Now I transfer the body weight to the front. Now we have to do the front leg routine. Okay, so same kind of thing happens. You let loose of your waist. Well, this is definitely bended, so no need to bend it anymore. So as soon as you release your waist, your hip, it will feel more pressure on the front foot. That's it. That's the routine that just happened. And now you can lift up your back foot and do the leg step, and then push your hip forward, routine, and so on. Okay, so now you have the step with the routine. Let's do together the hand motions. Routine, hand motions together. Turn palms, separation, lower foot, transfer away, push, press down the front palm, rotation and press. Position front palm, take another step, joint, rotate, turn, separate, drop foot, press down, transfer weight, rotation and press. I did that just to show you how routine has occurred at the front leg. You don't have to do that in Tai Chi. Okay, so let's do faster format, which means I assume, which is difficult, at this point that you have mastered the front, the leg movement and the hand movement. But we have to try anyway, because then you will taste it, how it's going to have to gone through the training and all that. Whoops, I didn't give you any instructions. Now you see it. This is the way we want to do it, okay? So joint, palm, turn, rotate, press down, rotate and press. Routine. Joint, turn, separate, foot down, press down, rotate, press. There you go. And actually, I've been missing all this. We can go further distance. Okay, routine. Turn, separate, foot down, press, rotation, press. Position foot, hand, routine. Turn, press, transfer, press, rotation. Position, routine has occurred. Join, turn, separate, foot down, press down, rotation, and press. Okay, I hope you are following me. Will we do it one more time before we go faster pace? Okay, I have to let go a lot of the instructions now, because it's a bit more difficult for you to follow my instruction than watching me. Turn, separate, transfer of weight, rotation and press. Position, step, join, turn, separate, foot down, transfer of weight, rotation and press. Position, step, join, turn, separate, foot down, press down, rotation and press. There you have it. Okay, so now we're going to go into a little bit more faster pace. Namely, let me just show you once. Okay, so this way we would be able, what we do, just did is we do it more continuously. Okay, so we don't do it step by step. That's done. Okay, in the basic training, in the slow motions, we suppose we did this 1,000 times every day, and therefore we memorize the movements and the feeling of each joints, the position of the palms, and where should I put the foot, when should I step down, and together with the pressing and the transfer of weight using the movement of the hips, all this, we will be able to do this faster motion, no problem. Okay, let's just try anyway, right? Only attempts will tell. Okay, let's just do it continuous movement without too many breaks in between. Okay, root turn. Join, turn, separate, transfer weight, press. Position, step, join, separate, press down, rotation, and press. Position, step, join, separate, press down, and press. Positioning, separate, press down, and press. Actually, I have slowed down at the later part of it. Okay, now let's just do some even more rigorous movements in the same form. I just demonstrate it first, and then let's do it together. Hey, that's very different from what I did before. No, actually, I'm just doing more rotational force, just like when we turn from the throwing of the arms to the punches. I'm just increasing the turn of the energy of the turn of the hip and more coordination of the movement like this. And then with the turn of the hip, generating more power to press at the front. Okay, so one more time. And now also I want to point out, this is why we need the proper transfer of weight in our steps in the slow motion practice. As you can see, if you do not have this foundation, it's easy to lose your sequence or lose your balance while you're doing this exertion of force. Okay? And this is how we get into Tai Chi being a martial arts. What I just did is actually some martial arts movements. Let me explain. This is actually resolving the incoming inbound attack so that it goes from the center frontal attack, resolve it to the sideways. And at the same time, because of turning of the hip and the pressing of the palm, as soon as I resolve the incoming attack, the front palm is able to attack the opponent. Okay? And this is just another way of resolving the frontal attack, whatever attack coming to you, to the side. And because you turn the hip, it's like cocking the spine, cocking the spring, letting it loose the spring, and the spring release the energy, and you ride on the release of the energy of the spring, which is the turn of the hip, to complete the counter attack. So there you go. This is the from slow pace movements as foundation to movements to faster pace into the martial arts area of Tai Chi. Okay, let me see if there's any comments or questions regarding what we've done just now. Okay, so far so good. I hope. All right, now we come to the last part of the session. So I just emphasize all our body movements and the mind has to be on top, right? And as you can see, the more practice you do, the mind and body connection will be trained, and you can do these movements easily. And so after the rigorous training of Tai Chi from slow to fast, we all want to have a cool down sessions. And one of the cool down sessions that we can practice is the Qigong practice, Tai Chi practice. It's Qigong is in Tai Chi, the theory is that there are internal qi, internal energy within our body, and the free flowing and the strong flowing of our qi within our body is to maintain our strength and to increase our health. The elements is very important. So we practice Qigong along with the Tai Chi movements most of the time. And a lot of commonalities between Tai Chi and Qigong as well. For instance, this is the most common Qigong method, is to what we call is the standing pose of Qigong. All we need is to stand, just like what I told you before in Tai Chi stand, stretch out your back neck, or assume there's a string coming down and you pull up your hair, so your head is being attached to the string and a little bit pulling towards the ceiling. Release your kneecaps and drop down your hip, relax your shoulders. Put all the weight onto both feet evenly. And that's the Qigong standing pose, just as Tai Chi as well. The second thing is we like to hold an imaginary football, let's just say, a small size football, I would say, or maybe a mid-size if you've got long arms, and holding it like this without raising up your shoulders. The shoulders should be relaxed as you hold just a football. You don't need a lot of strength to hold up a football. Okay, and the important thing is you have to breathe through your nose, gently, long and deep. Take very deep breaths through the nose, Okay, now I'm gonna tell you more. The other thing you have to think about is there's some energy from your top of your head as you breathe out. The energy flow from the top to your belly button. And as you inhale, it goes from the belly button back to the head. When you exhale, goes from the head to the belly button, and on like that. So exhale, head to belly button. Inhale, belly button to head. Exhale, head to belly button. Inhale, belly button to head. And on and on. Okay, the third thing I'm going to tell you is while you're doing this head to belly button, inhale, exhale, your mind has a role to play. Your mind has to think about relaxing towards the earth, towards the ground, letting your whole body sink into the ground as you exhale. So when you exhale, head to belly button and mind thinking, letting down your body, whole body to the ground. And as you inhale, your body is sort of floating up again before it can become let down again during the exhale. Let's just do that 1 minute. All three things together. Body straight, kneecaps loosen. Exhale, head to toes, head to belly button. The third thing, exhale, letting down the whole body weight to the foot. So you may have the floating and sinking feeling as you inhale, exhale. And when you want to finish, lowering your hands, your palms to the hip level, letting it go separate to the side of both legs. Return to the normal position, standing position that you normally take, and complete. Okay, so I hope you have enjoyed these sessions. From fast pace, from slow pace to fast pace, and from synchronizing your body motions to connecting mind with body, feeling and sensing how the body and joints and muscles and ligaments moves within your body while you're doing this Tai Chi moves. And finally, have a really peace and quiet Qigong short practice. I hope you enjoyed the session. The next sessions is going to be done by somebody from Costa Rica about active flexibility at 4 o'clock Central Europe Standard Time. I hope you will join them too. Thank you very much. And I'm going to stay on to let you ask some questions. And here's the move week. And if somebody wants to ask more questions after the sessions, you can contact me through the Facebook entry here called TCQI. TC is Tai Chi, QI is Chi. And Chui, which is my last name, CHUI 852 is the Hong Kong area code. And you can ask more questions later on if you think of something after more practice. Thank you very much. And I'm stay on to see if anybody has more questions for me.